We all know the feeling of waking up to a too early alarm clock. It's time to wake up for another busy day, and the sun's not even up yet. Although everyone hates their alarms, high school students in particular are notorious for their strong dislike of getting up for school. Although many compare teens' love of staying in bed to pure laziness, there are many reasons that are linked to their biological makeup that make going to bed early and waking up early quite difficult. The reason teens go to bed later is because melatonin secretion, the hormone that induces evening drowsiness and maintains the inherent sleep-wake cycle, naturally occurs in adolescence later in the evening and turns off later in the morning. Not only does the lateness of melatonin secretion keep teens up, but to occupy themselves at night, they use technology such as watching TV, playing on the computer, or using their cell phones, which delay sleep even further because light blocks the secretion of melatonin. Research has concluded that the typical adolescent's natural time to fall asleep may be 11 p.m. or later. Research has also shown that teens need to get about 9.25 hours of sleep. With 43% of public high schools starting before 8 a.m., over 2/3 of high school students are getting less than 7 hours of sleep every night, far below what their bodies need. Without enough sleep, students suffer from negative consequences. One such consequence is the ability to concentrate in school. In a study done in Israel by Epstein and colleagues, they found that early start times correlate to more daytime fatigue and sleepiness during the school day, a greater tendency to doze off in class, and increased attention and concentration difficulties in school. They also found that the average total sleep time for students with early start times were significantly shorter than those with later start times. In a different study done by Cortese and colleagues, it was determined that students with earlier start had more irregular sleep schedules, more daytime sleepiness, used more stimulants, and reported poorer school performance. In a study done by Wallstrom and colleagues, they studied a school that changed its start time from 7:15 a.m. to 8:40 a.m. Wallstrom noticed that with this change in start time came an increase in attendance rates, higher enrollment rates, and better grades. It also determined that teens went to bed at the same times as they had when they had earlier start, but that they gained an extra hour of sleep every night due to the later start. Another study that followed a school that made its start time later found that the earlier start students reported sleeping less, having more sleep problems, and sleeping later on weekends, which were also associated with worse grades. Overall, as noted from all of these studies, nighttime activeness, delayed sleep schedules, and early start times seem to be associated with daytime sleepiness, dozing in class, attention difficulties, and worse academic performance. When adolescents do not get enough sleep, their ability to learn, concentrate, listen, and solve problems is limited. Constant tiredness can also lead to a person forgetting important information, such as names, numbers, homework, or outings with friends. Another consequence of teens not getting enough sleep is that they are more likely to get into a car accident. According to the National Sleep Foundation, more than 100,000 car crashes occur every year due to drowsiness or falling asleep at the wheel. When one is sleep deprived, they are as impaired as driving with a blood alcohol content of 0.08%, which is illegal in most states. Another consequence is that lack of sleep affects mood. Many adolescents reported feeling unhappy, sad, or depressed, and hopeless about the future. They also felt nervous or tense and felt that they worried too much about things. 58% of teens questioned in one survey said they worried about things too much, and 56% said they felt very stressed and anxious. Many teens exhibit symptoms of depressive mood on a frequent basis. There are physical consequences as well. Lack of sleep can cause acne and other skin problems. It can also lead to unhealthy eating habits, which can lead to obesity. It also causes an increase in the use of caffeine and nicotine. It can also increase the likelihood of catching an illness because the body has less energy to fight infections. Although studies have shown that early start times have negative effects on teenagers, most school districts are unwilling to change their start time. Administrators do not want to delay busing schedules, and coaches of sports worry about scheduling practices. Many parents rely on early start times for reasons such as childcare or carpools. In addition, many students worry that being in school later in the day will affect after-school jobs and other extracurricular activities. According to the National Sleep Foundation, there are solutions for these tired adolescents. Naps can be helpful, but only if planned right. It is important not to nap too long or too close to bedtime. It is also important that teens establish a bed and wake time and stay consistent to it throughout the week. A consistent schedule helps one feel less tired because their body is in sync with its natural patterns. In addition, consuming caffeine, which can come from coffee, tea, soda, and chocolate, close to bedtime can hurt one's sleep. Eating, drinking, or exercising before bed are also bad activities to partake in. The National Sleep Foundation also recommends that teens avoid watching TV, using the computer, or using their phones an hour before going to bed, and recommends sticking to quiet, calm activities to get one's body ready for sleep. Although our society often views sleep as a luxury, research has shown that getting enough sleep is a biological necessity, something that's important as eating healthy or exercising. Teens on average need 9.25 hours of sleep every night for optimal performance and health and brain development. This presents a dilemma for our school system, as the tradition of early start times clashes with the biological makeup of teens. Adolescents spend a lot of their day in school, yet they are unable to reach their full potential because sleep deprivation hurts their ability to be alert, pay attention, solve problems, cope with stress, and retain information. Young people who do not get enough sleep every night carry a significant risk for drowsy driving, emotional and behavioral problems such as irritability, depression, poor impulse control and violence, health complaints, tobacco and alcohol use, impaired cognitive functions and decision-making, and lower overall performance in everything from academics to athletics. All this research leads to one conclusion: teens are not getting enough sleep. In order to make sure this generation can maximize its potential, it's important that we make time to be well rested.